So can we all just admit that we all saw this coming? Like, we all saw that the blue-haired girl was definitely trying to isolate Joro to where he had no one around, nobody was near him, etc. No friends, nobody liked him, where she could have him all to herself, basically isolate him. It was a very psychotic and yandere thing to do, and it really goes to show that how she doesn't really love Joro for who he is, because if she really did care about him, she wouldn't make him unhappy just to have him all to herself. It's very manipulative, like she's manipulating him in a way to where she could just have him. So yeah, I mean, everything that happened within this episode was very predictable. The only thing that wasn't is just how it went about. Like, what did she necessarily do, how the events unfolded, basically what happened for her to do it. That's pretty much, what was revealed. But overall, when it came to the twist, I think we all expected it. I think we all expected what she did to happen. Like, we knew that she was going to be like a scummy individual that manipulated Joro and manipulated everyone around him to basically not like him or just not be near him. So to get right into it though, this episode, for about 60% of the episode, is pretty much the overall reveal of who the blue-haired girl is. For instance, what she has done. And Joro is completely oblivious to the entire event. He's oblivious to what she has done, what she was doing, etc. He was oblivious. And I do like how Cosmos, she tried to shield Joro. She tried to basically make it to where Joro was not there, for it wouldn't embarrass the blue-haired girl and potentially ruin her chances of being with him. It's actually, there's a double message in this episode that I really like, and I'm going to get into. But, she was trying to persuade Joro not in coming, but obviously it backfired, and he came and he got to witness everything and find out the true personality of the blue-haired girl and what she was doing, etc., and effectively ended her chances of ever really being with him, by his side. Now, there is a lot of layers to this, which I'm going to get into, but, it's a big wonder, though, what would have happened if Joro was not there, and that's kind of what I want to get into. So, hypothetically, if Joro did not go with the student council president, Cosmos, and with the blue-haired girl news reporter, and he wasn't there to listen in, technically, she could have still been friends with Joro, and potentially could have, let's say, been by his side, a part of his so-called harem. And it's not necessarily saying that she still won't be, but it's going to be a lot harder. I mean, she might have had a better chance if she wasn't revealed to Joro. And so, with her, let's say it wasn't found out, Cosmos was trying to spare her. Cosmos was, in her own way, showing pity to her and trying to help her out. For instance, allow her to at least have a chance at love. But obviously did not happen, and we know the rest. So, it's kind of cool. Cosmos, even though she kind of told Joro in this episode that, he was being very kind, he was trying to help, her out, like the blue-haired girl out, it just, like, it might come off as wrong. For instance, it might seem like he's very jaded or, he has rough edges and stuff, but overall, he was trying to be really nice to her and basically make her give up for she could move on with her life and be happy. And I do like that moment, though, because it's basically Cosmos is unaware of what she was really trying to do. She was doing the exact same thing. She was trying to spare Joro the headache and the, upset nature, but also trying to help out the blue-haired girl for she could have a chance. So, okay, let's get into the conversation, basically. So, Joro, one of the things that this episode really wanted to present is, once again, everybody is starting to find out who Joro really is. How he's someone that is like a Mr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. He's someone that kind of has his rough personality there, but overall, when it comes to his rough personality, there's more hidden meaning behind it. Basically, he does mean well, he is a kind individual, and he's not trying to really hurt anyone in the end, and everybody is starting to realize this. For instance, Cosmos is starting to realize who Joro really is, what type of person he is, and how he acts, etc. She knows the real him. So it's kind of interesting, honestly, because it's clear as day that Cosmos does love Joro. She practically admitted it in this episode, which is kind of interesting, but I doubt she'll ever be with Joro, because it's just not going to happen unless there is some form of a harem ending where all the girls can have him, but once again, doubts, because you just don't see that in a harem story. So, for the time being, though, I just think that, Cosmos basically declaring her love for Joro is something that, I'm not the biggest fan of. And it kind of goes into what I talked about in my episode review a few episodes back. That Oresuki has a really tight rope it's treading right now. It is in a spot to where it can easily fall into a generic harem story. Because, as I've already talked about in length, the first arc of the story was something so different, exciting, and honestly, you could have technically ended the series with the first arc because of just everything that happened and the reveals to who Joro's real friends, etc. were. You know, honestly, I'm no writer, okay? But personally, there is other ways that the writer could have gone about it. For instance, had it to where Joro moved on with his life, and eventually Pansy and him, they went to college or something together. Change the setting from school life setting to, or change it to an adult college, etc., and not have them in the high school setting. It would have definitely changed at the pace, and maybe he wouldn't have been with the friends that, you know, he thought were friends that really weren't. There's different directions the story could have went to keep its, anti-harem mentality, but obviously the writer has kind of fallen into that to where all the girls that basically got rejected by Sun, they don't want to be with him now, are starting to fall for Joro, and it's kind of turning more and more into what many were hoping this series wouldn't be, which is once again a generic harem. Now, I'm not saying that the series is that right now, but it is becoming it, with Cosmos' declaration of love to basically the childhood friend saying in this episode she loves no one, which basically implies that she's probably gonna fall in love with Joro, to the whole Pansy thing, and then the blue-haired girl. It's all just setting up for a harem story, which I'm not the biggest fan of. Because once again, I want to just make sure I clarify the reason why I like this series is because it's an anti-harem. But if it falls in that category of just a regular harem, I'm not interested anymore. It loses the appeal that I think won over many for the story to continue to watch to this very point. So it does concern me. I'm very concerned with the story right now because of just the Cosmos thing to the childhood friend thing, and also if the blue-haired girl comes back and she makes friends with Joro, let's say the next episode or episode 2 later, you know, she's gonna obviously be a part of his harem and love him too, so it's just like, come on now, like, you're just pretty much becoming what you set out to not be. So, hopefully I got that point across. I know many are probably going to be upset with my opinion on this episode, because I know many do like Oresuki, and I do like it. I like this series. It is very enjoyable. I've had a lot of fun watching it. It's why I'm still reviewing it. But it does not change the fact that my concerns are very valid. The only way I could probably breathe a little bit easier is if, you know, light novel readers could tell me if it does become what I fear it will. If it doesn't, that's good news. So, if anyone could clarify, please do so. I really would love to know. So, anyways, let's talk about the dance. So, the flower dance at the later half of the episode, obviously, it's everything that's kind of been building up for the past few episodes. Basically, Joro gets to dance with 3 girls. And the 3 girls were to be expected: Pansy, Cosmos, and the childhood friend, the 3 main girls of the story. And basically, throughout the entirety of it, we kind of work our way up to the one that truly does love Joro. You have it start off with the childhood friend. She's someone that basically declares to Joro she doesn't love anyone right now, she's free. And then the second dances with Cosmos with a love declaration, basically saying I love you because she kisses him. And then the third dance is basically Pansy's entire reveal of how she looks, for instance, without her glasses and trying to hide her chest, etc. She just looks very different, and nobody really knows who she is. She's a mystery, and she just really shines. And the message in her dress, like the different colors to the purple, to the white, to the yellow, really, I like that symbolism with the flowers, the message there of how she was basically declaring how much she loves Joro, to memories, feelings, and all that, wanting to be with him. It's very beautiful. I do like that romantic little moment throughout the episode, and I think many can agree with me, it was nice. But that's pretty much about it, though. It's a good episode, simplistic, because, once again, it was predictable with the twist, and concerning at the same time because of some of the events that are happening, but I'm going to leave it at that. The only thing, though, that this episode was lacking, though, was the bench. There was no bench at all, so we didn't get to see Bench-kun with the Darth Vader music. Kind of sad, honestly. I expected to see it again, but we didn't. But everything kind of falls back in line with the baseball game. Like, seriously, what is with that baseball game and everybody falling in love with Joro, or falling in love with Sun-kun, or something else? Just like, what is with that? Like, that is just ridiculous to me, to how one baseball game could literally make everybody fall in love with so-and-so. But okay, I'm gonna leave it at that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy my content, you know, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below. And with that, Chibi out.